All right. So we're live for our movies and TV part of our half-year streams. And of course, with me as always is Peter,
Hello.
and a man who I know is going to love being proven right a few times in this stream because of some predictions he made. It's Mr. Wombat. Yeah, I thought that'd be a good laugh. All right. So before we get to some of these predictions, to cover some of the stories that were in the news regarding the industry, because it's not been a great watch so far this year. And of course, the first part of that is to do with, of course, the layoffs that were reported throughout a number of different companies. But I'll go through them one by one, mention them in as much detail or as little detail as you guys want to talk about. But the first one, of course, to mention is Disney and Marvel. Around 1,000 employees laid off or will be laid off from Marvel Studios, marketing, consolidation, sports and experiences. This was apparently codenamed Project Imagine, which I personally found amusing. Your guys' thoughts on this one?
Yeah, they're all sacked due to the lack of. I am again. That basically tells you that they're done with the Marvel movies, right? They've just looked at it and gone, right, yep, that superhero shit's done. So they've pretty much just nuked the entire department from all that. Not overly surprised.
Yeah, I mean the one.
I feel sorry for the rank and file.
Yeah, of course.
But it was caused by the senior management.
I mean, the one tweet I saw about this was the guy that was getting laid off, and the concept art for Loki and the Avengers was that he'd painted was in the room they were telling him the bad news in, which I thought, man, that's shit.
Yeah, and it's also, that's not just the only thing in concept. He's been concepting since, I think, way back for the original Avengers.
Yeah, which is fucking unreal. And then we had Sony Pictures layoffs, around 12,000 staff laid off, focused mainly on junior and middle management across film, TV, and corporate divisions. This was apparently part of their strategy to focus on franchise strategy, ecosystem integration with regards to adaptations tied to PlayStation, anime and digital, of course, with regards to Crunchyroll.
Oh, crunchy shit.
Yeah, I thought you'd
They
like
will
that
never get my money.
No. Anything to say on this before we move on, or no?
Oh, again, Sony. Hey, Sony, you have an effective monopoly on anime distribution in the West, and you still manage to lose money. Wow, absolute, big brain move there. That I said, and that the video game stuff is. Hey, Sony, have you learned if you make those DEI games, no one fucking buys them? Have you tried, getting rid of the DEI shit from your own company? Because there was a lot of house cleaning from this, right? It came out real again because Sony's American headquarters is in California, of course.
Yeah.
Which is why they've been having all these problems. So Sony Japan got involved and just started going purging the land with sword and fire. Clearly not purging hard enough, but they essentially have to rebuild the company from the ground up.
And then another one was announced. Amazon confirms 16,000 job cuts after an accidental email was seen by the BBC. Not great.
Again, with that Amazon job cuts, is that for the movie production side of things, or is it just Amazon in general?
Let's see.
Yeah, see, again, a lot of the Amazon ones, less related to media and more that, there's a lot of automation and, we're replacing them with AI. No, replacing. And when I say AI, I mean, it's been a lot of Indians.
Yeah, okay.
It's that, and there was also a lot of overhiring during COVID. So companies in this case, Amazon just cutting jobs. It's not necessarily related to movies and stuff. It's more just Amazon wanting to, trim up and cut down on the stuff they don't need. And again, Amazon in the US, there's a bigger picture. Basically, for every job they cut, they just get 2 Indians to do it because it's cheaper.
And then we've got Paramount 2,000 jobs cut due to no, I'm on the wrong part. Cost-cutting measure under the new chief executive David Ellison. Not surprised at this one. What about you guys?
No, this happens during mergers, right? Or acquisitions and stuff. It's just like, okay, there's a whole heap of staff, or it's essentially duplicate function, which is why you get all that purging. But again, we'll see if Ellison. I have no faith in Ellison whatsoever because he's an
we'll
Apple
talk
baby.
about this in more detail. That's coming up.
So yeah, that's just they got bought out by a company. This is stuff that happens during mergers.
Yeah. And then the BBC, 2,000 jobs cut due to significant financial pressures, they put it. And
Not enough.
Yeah, and the need to find apparently 500 million in savings.
Yeah, because Trump's suing them out the ring. they're expecting to have to pay out billions. I feel sorry for you because again, this is your tax dollars at work.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, I should point out for the American
your license fee. Have you paid your license fee, son?
Yeah. For anyone outside the UK that hears this, us folks in the UK, we're forced to pay for the TV license, and it's not getting any cheaper. And if we decide not to pay it, we get a knock on the door and £1,000 fine. That's why. I mean, apparently there are people in the UK that don't pay it at the minute, but well, I'm not that rebellious yet, and I don't want the cops knocking on my door.
No, you haven't got your license, see. You can't watch TV.
Yeah.
Boy, you can't watch all the diverse history shows with, all the English people replaced with, diverse Africans. Don't you know the Queen was black?
And then the final story to mention in the layoffs in the industry, and this one's a bit of an odd one, but bear with me. The Daily Wire announced that 13% of its staff have been cut, amounting to around about 42 employees. Now, why are we mentioning the Daily Wire? Well, the company expanded.
We laugh at them.
The company. Let me get this out. The company expanded into numerous TV and movie developments. Several movies were made, and they did a few TV shows for kids and whatnot. But it was suspected that scope creep was at play here, and also that a lot of the money they earned dried up after the Trump election win because the outrage they like to farm just dried up.
That they were just shit. I'm sorry, but it's like I see them like backing things like again they're just trying to be the right wing version of the left wing cringe, right? They're both political cartoons as cringe. Like I remember them backing things like Freedom Toons, and I'm like, yeah, Freedom Toons is just cringe libertarian politics as well. It's just no, Ben, no one likes you. No one liked you then. They don't like you now.
Yeah.
Right. It was just kind of one of those things. It was,
We'll try hard shit.
It's also a sort of a bigger, you had that schism where within Daily Wire, where they got rid of, the two most popular ones being, I say this relatively speaking, but the fact that they had that schism with, what's her face, Candice Owens and the rest of it, and them just doubling down, going no, Israel, rah, rah, rah. And like, yeah, the American populace really isn't happy with Israel at the moment. So it's no surprise that the Daily Wire is just kind of withering and dying because Ben is an extreme Zionist type thing, and any the right it reflects a bigger schism in the right wing in US politics. Let's just leave it at that.
No, fair enough. That's a good way of putting it. So, award season came along, and
nobody cared.
Well, there were parts, but we'll get to that in a second. But of course, the first one to start with, and this is probably a brief mention from me. I don't know what you guys want to say about this, but we had the controversy surrounding the BAFTAs and the outburst from the Tourette sufferer John Davidson, who had a film made of his life. Now,
I'm sorry, but that just made me fucking laugh. It's just like, he's a Tourette sufferer.
Yeah.
And now, you're upset that he had a Tourette's out.
Yeah.
Now, people. Oh, no, that just shows me how full of utter bullshit these people are. And they go, oh, we're all about helping disabled people. Oh, we must support these people. Here's a real life, actual disabled person with a Tourette syndrome that, no, you dumb fucks. he can't control, hence it's
Yeah.
a syndrome. And when he has a moment on like live, because it's an uncontrollable disorder, a lot of you come out and do the pylon. I'm like,
Yeah, that was.
you just showed yourself the giant fucking hypocrites and liars you all
Oh, yeah,
are.
absolutely. Because it struck me that those that preached empathy, kindness, understanding, sure as hell didn't practice it when it suited them. And in this case, it was because it was an easy target. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I was like, and also I said you'll out yourselves for being absolute bullshit artists
Yeah.
and liars. Because the moment you're presented with someone with an actual condition that cannot control, that doesn't fit into your little niche of we can use this person to like pander bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
and he has an actual Tourette's moment. Out come the knives, and you prove how much bullshit you are,
Oh, yes.
and how actually evil you are.
Yeah, I felt sorry for this guy, but again, my point of view is he was an easy target. Now, the next one I know Wombat's been looking forward to, so we'll get to it. So, the Oscars. Now, I don't give a toss about the show anymore. I stopped caring about it a long time ago. But, we spoke about one particular film which got nominated quite a lot for this year's Oscars, and that was, of course, One Battle After Another. And as you probably remember saying, Wombat, it'll win awards. And you were right, it did.
Hang on, and Justin, just stop for a sec. Do you hear that ringing? Do you hear that ringing? Somebody pick up that goddamn phone because I called it.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that movie and what it was, I'm like, oh, this is modern Oscar bait.
Yeah, and it did. It won Best Picture, Best Actor for Sean Penn, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Editing, and Best Casting. But it was still a box office bomb, so I don't give a shit. The only bit that I did care about was Amy Madigan, who won Best Supporting Actress for Weapons. And I'm going to ignore the silly shit that she said regarding the character being a queer icon because, well, whatever. But
again,
I'm
disappear. It's like I really just want an AI version from that South Park episode of where they're just huffing their own farts because holy shit.
Yeah, but I've got the moment here where she's announced as the winner, and I absolutely loved her reaction because I don't think she expected to win, and the look on her husband's face where he's sitting there going, "I told you," before he gives her a hug, and I'll play just the beginning of it here.
And the Oscar goes to Amy Madigan.
Oh.
This is their first Oscar win and second nomination.
Yeah, that's a husbandly look of, see, honey?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll finish it there. But I love that because, like I said, I don't think she expected to win it because there was some stiff competition there. But no, fair play to her. That was the only award that I gave a shit about because she deserved it. It's as simple as that. And Weapons was a damn good movie. So one more topic to mention with the awards ceremony. And I'm going to see if you can figure this one out before I share the screen. But the Astra Awards was also this year.
Who dat?
And wait for it. So one of the categories was Best Performance in a Horror or Thriller Movie. Can you guess who it went to? And I'll give you a clue. We did talk about this film last year.
I'm trying to think of like the most cringe diverse horror film that came out.
It's not that.
Okay. No, go for it.
Peter, you got any guesses?
Nope.
It went to the dog from Good Boy.
He's the goodest of boys. He gets the awards. I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
Most worthy recipient of an award of this season, my opinion. He was such a good boy. He deserves the head pat.
Yeah.
He deserves all the treats.
For those who don't remember, we did talk about this film end of last year, and I've seen this. It was a damn good film. Did you guys get to see it in the end?
No, I haven't, unfortunately.
Get round to it because I call it performance in inverted commas. of the dog was something else. And I wish I'd been a fly on the wall in this room when the actors looked at each other and went, "We just lost to a dog," because I got such a laugh out of this. But I'm going to be corny and say, good boy.
That is a literal award of none of the above. You know, oh, look, we've got a dog we can vote for. He's a cute boy. We're just going to vote for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is one of the few times I've got a good laugh in the year. So I thought that would be sharing just because it's just so fucking funny.
I'm glad, like, he is the goodest of boys. He deserves all the treats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it went to someone who genuinely deserved it as opposed to the last award season. And the thing is,
And actually, had to work for their
Yes, he
reward.
did.
yeah. And again, this is the thing. The thing about us cynics is we really, really, really want to be wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to be wrong. And it's just, I'm like, not again. Right? Again, I hate the fact that, I said, the Oscar stuff now, it's really easy to pick who the Oscar winners are. Because it used to be, and it's kind of, it's a reflection of generational change in the Oscars voting pool anyway. Because previously, if you knew a movie was going to win an Oscar, if it was something about World War II, something about the suffering of Jewish people, blah, 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 and, overcoming the Nazis, right? That was your classical Oscar bait stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's just like, oh no, it's a diverse thing. Blah, blah, blah. You can, because again, when they implemented these diversity rules a couple of years ago, which are now in force, I said, oh yeah, no, this is going to, diversity films are going to be in your Oscar bait.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, I was right. I hate being right, but I was right.
Yeah. All right. So to a topic we discussed in some detail when it was the big news at the time, the Warner Brothers and Paramount merger. I mean, geez, I'm not sure where to start with this one. So Netflix did bow out after the sale. After Paramount updated its bid to be far superior, which is around 110 billion. Now, the
thing is, the market kind of agreed with, Netflix got out and, the market actually rewarded them for it. The Netflix share price went back up.
Yeah.
If anyone gets a chance, go back and look at the likes of Valiant Renegade and his crew, because again, they're all he's literally an accountant, and they cover this from a money business point of view. And this was mostly just squeezing Paramount's ball. And Netflix was probably making a half-hearted bid, but it was really just squeezing Paramount's balls to get pay as much as possible for it.
Yeah.
Mind you, because it's being backed by a literal nepo baby of the richest man on earth.
Yeah.
It's okay. Great, the Ellisons own Paramount now, or Warner Brothers now. Woo.
But the funny thing is, this resulted in almost 6,000 actors, writers, and directors signing an open letter in protest to the deal. Even attempted political interventions from New York and California before, obviously, as you can see here, the deal was approved by the U.S. Justice Department. This has been one that I've had a good chuckle at, because just watching so many people, actors and whoever, just spit their rattles out of their pram.
No, the thing is, they'll still work for them, right?
Again, they'll still work.
Yeah.
It's all performative protesting. It's just like,
absolutely.
Yeah, we know you don't actually really give a shit. As soon as they turn around, it's like, hey, I've got this role for X amount of money. You'll take it.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be intriguing to see how this one goes forward. But I'm curious to see, especially with those who have said we'll never work for these people. Of course, it's all political. We know that. Who will then turn around and take a job from them because they need.
We won't work for Paramount. Well, that's fine. Then you need to learn your new lines. Would you like fries with that?
Yeah. Which I've got to say, I think that's hilarious. Right. So we've got a new section. We did have previously cancelizations of series or movies or whatever in development. But because of some of the ones we're about to talk about now, I changed this to cancelizations and bastardizations. The latter being adaptions of original works and then having changed them to suit the needs of the showrunner or the perceived audience. But we'll get the first one out of the way because it's a brief mention. Because obviously we talked about Stephen Colbert's show cancelling. Well, it went. The final episode with him pranking this show by the studio by playing a song which she hadn't paid the royalties for. And then the final episode, he got on the roof with a load of previous hosts and friends and chucked chairs off the roof at the CBS logo that I think was a cake or something. It just looked very juvenile to me, but I just thought,
he
well,
mad. He 200% mad.
Yeah.
Ho's
I'm not
mad.
mad. I'm not
Ho's
mad.
mad. Ho's
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah. So good luck, whatever. But I just thought, yeah, no one's going to give a shit in a few years' time. I did laugh. I don't know who's in charge of the White House social media account, but they did an AI video of Trump stuffing Colbert into a box and closing it and then dancing. I just thought, okay, whatever, I guess.
It's just like, yep, okay,
Yeah.
retard slap fight, go for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Right. And then to the first major mention, and this I'm calling a bastardization of an original work because, well, it's the Burbs series. Fuck's sake, get off that. I have the job to believe this was real because they ripped off the original poster of Tom
Yeah.
Hanks with the skillet and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I have this woman
Yeah.
doing it, but
I'm
I
doing
just
it badly.
I just shake my head at it because many of the parts
And
have
it's-
been race or gender swapped.
Yeah, and again, I can say, guarantee all the bad guys are still white. Right?
Oh,
This
I'm
is-
about to get to that.
Yeah.
So I'll share this bit here. This lady, Stephanie, on Twitter, she watched the first episode, and this is some of the things in it. So this is the first line. I can't believe we have a white picket fence. They're so charming yet so microaggressive at the same time.
Oh, cringe.
So
That hurt me in my cringe place.
yeah. So the Tom Hanks character is now a black woman and a civil litigation attorney, and first-time mother questioning living in a white neighborhood. Her husband is a white woke British man who doesn't want his paternity leave to end and works as a book editor. There's a whole list of here, but fucking hell. This was
Yeah, I remember reading that and some other people's agreements and also their own takes on it, and it's just a tick box
yeah.
of every single cringe, wokest, feminist, like representations bullshit you can think of, all crammed into just the first fucking episode.
Yeah. But again, I suppose it's modern times and this is modern filmmaking. I don't know what else to say about it, but
Just don't give it your eyeballs and just
well,
let it
I don't.
die a natural death.
I
Yeah.
get amused at the ratings of some of these, which we're going to go through, especially the critics score. But that's not really a surprise to me.
The critics score these days is useful because if the critics like it, it's usually complete crap and you can ignore it.
Yes. Right. And then we've got Gen V, a spin-off of The Boys. So this was supposed to be a minimum 3 seasons, I'm told, but was cancelled after the end of 2. The death of one of its stars, Chance Perdomo, if I'm saying that right, caused a delay in the season's second season production, but low viewership most likely played a part in this one. I mean, I don't know what to say about this one. Attempted spin-off that didn't land.
Well, it also died in the ass because the Boys, it's the main series it was based on, died in the ass as well.
Oh, we're about to get to that. So that, of course, leads us into The Boys. 93% critics, 69% fans. I'm calling this one a bastardization because what they did, the changes they made from the original story. I mean, I've got a list here. Peter, I heard you say you can have your dig on this one in a moment. So Black Noir in the series, he's black and he's not a Homelander clone like in the comics. In the comics, Stormfront is male, whereas in the series she's female and she shags Homelander. In the series, the Deep is white and not black. A-Train is black and not white, as in what's happened in the comics. And Stan Edgar is black and not white, as in what happened with the comics. The story veered drastically away from the comic story, such as Starlight only being raped by the Deep, who I should remind you was changed from black to white.
Hang on. I've got a technicality there. No, she got done over by Homelander and the rest of them as well. It was
I'm about to get to that. because in the comic she was done over by the Deep, Homelander, and Black Noir.
Yeah, it was basically a really creepy sort of welcome,
Yeah.
humiliation ritual.
Yeah. Queen Maeve in the series, she's a lesbian and she survives, but in the comic, she's basically a slag and she dies.
And also in the comic, she does try to have her redemption moment, which utterly fails.
Yeah.
So at least she tried in the end.
Yeah.
And also, like, clarify on the rape thing with Starlight, it was more a hazing ritual where it's a case of get on your knees, honey, and give everyone a good gobby. That's your initiation.
Yeah. Also, the racial aspect to A-Train storyline, which I think was the main reason they changed him from white to black. Obviously, Stormlander and Homelander fucking, which was obviously not in the comics. The whole Me Too storyline with Starlight. The obvious digs at Trump and Musk, and of course, even the ending was changed. It's a bastardization, and Kripke, or whatever you pronounce his name, is one of those that's definitely got TDS and obviously needs to get the fuck over it. But I just can't stand it when.
Just also don't forget that one of the executive producers on this was Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I'll do my best to forget that guy exists.
Yeah.
But, I hate it when stuff like this happens. If you're going to take digs at people you don't like, do it with your own fucking material, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but then no one watches it. Again, this is the thing. They take popular stuff and just put it where it's skin.
Yes.
It's the only way they can get their stuff out there.
Yep.
And
again, I've seen a lot of criticism about the ending. It's just like, hey, there was a whole heap of storyline threads that they could have used for the ending that just got chucked in the bin. Oh yeah, we're just going to use my magic radiation and just turn him into a sniveling, groveling. So it's just like, oh yes, we beat the Orange Man and made him like a sniveling, groveling, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, this is shit. Right?
Yeah.
And also, like, the whole crowbar to the head thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't Homelander. That was Black Noir. That Butcher does it too. And that was after they made the point of, yes, Homelander's finally realized what's going on. He finally turned on Black Noir, realizing that, so it's you that's been doing all this shit, you that's been fucking up my life. And Black Noir just shows the point of, yeah, he's there to basically control everything the entire time because they purposely made him even stronger than Homelander. So even when Homelander's turned on and given it his all, he's literally been ripped limb from limb to the point that even though he also got a good few licks in him as well and really screwed him up, fucked him up, he's still alive with half his side gone, a chunk of his skull open, a limb missing, and just walks out onto the lawns of the White House carrying the bits that remain of Homelander.
But
and
again, it was
Billy
the whole
Butcher that comes up and finally does him in by using the crowbar. It's like, yeah, now I know it was you that raped and murdered me wife.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to find that bit of your brain that contains that memory, jam this crowbar in, and ratchet it out, and that finally killed him.
And the thing is, they also completely abandoned the storyline in the comic because there was a story after that where Butcher basically, the rest of the team, like if for anyone who wants to read the comic and not have spoilers, skip the next couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Essentially, Butcher makes the logically but insane conclusion that because in the comic they kind of point this out is there's compound V contamination everywhere. So now you're just going to get soups appearing. So Butcher basically works and develops a kind of super plague that only affects compound V people.
Yeah.
And he ends up killing French. He ends up killing the rest of the team when they realize what he's going to do because they're like, no, this shit is in everyone now, right? It's either latent, even if it's not activating them. You're going to essentially kill humanity. And Butcher's like, worth it. Right? Poor Butcher's just gone off his tree, and it was Huey who ends up stopping him.
And he does it as well. It's just like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know I'm going on my absolute tree. I know I've turned into the monster that I've been raging against. So I'm going to wind you up, Huey boy, and you're going to do the thing of taking me out because I'm too much of a coward to do it myself.
Yeah.
So on to the next one, because we've mentioned this twat's name already. Animal Farm. So, made on a budget of 35 million. It took 5.8 million at the box office. This is a bastardization of the best example because there are drastic changes to the story, which included introducing new characters, loads of toilet humor, expanding the story with a new third act and ending. There was even obviously an Elon Musk dig there because of the villain driving a cybercar or whatever you want to fucking call it. The critics that were bold enough to go after this labeled it as a Disneyfication and a betrayal of Orwell's story.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
Yeah.
It's gone from communism bad to capitalism bad.
Yeah. And one of the things that wound me up about it was seeing some of the quote unquote right-wing influencers that were cheering this movie on. And I looked and I thought, funny how you guys have shifted your morals on this, because I think Tucker Carlson was one. There are, I forget some of the others now, but it just goes to show there are shills on both sides of the aisles when it suits.
Oh, again, absolute goddamn midwits.
Yeah. But it failed miserably. But we'll see if something gets learned from that. I don't know. All right. And this next one is a bastardization and a cancelization in one go. And this one I hate for personal reasons. Starfleet Academy. Now,
but husband, didn't you like the big sassy fat black officer? You know,
so
that was wasn't she also like a hologram or something made physical?
I'll get to that. So normally, like I said, I don't encourage celebrating such cancelizations because I don't cheer on people losing their jobs. But as an old school Trekkie, I'm going to make an exception here. You've got the overweight women, if this is the correct term, which didn't exist in old school Trek. You had the hologram. She wasn't made real. She was a hologram. You had the way Holly Hunter, who I can't believe was in this, would sit in the captain's chair like she was a fucking teenager. You had the homosexual dress-wearing Klingon, whose name was Jaden. I mean, really?
And he was black.
And it was just like, what the fuck even is this? And for once here, well, I don't know about, I'm not looking at the critic score for this one because obviously tells you what they think, but fans did not like it, and it's done now. It's gone. I think they even sold off large parts of the set.
They did.
And apparently, for the first time in years, there's no Star Trek series or film in production. Good, because I'm sorry, I can't stand it when this sort of shit happens because it's just a bastardization.
Worse than that, it really just seems to be humiliating the fans.
Yeah.
Right. Well, again, it's this whole, oh no, we're going to make this ours chud, you know, sort of thing. And then I'm like, then they're surprised when it fails.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no one likes you. Go away.
But again, it's like you said.
It's also a level of fan fiction you'd expect to read on fanfiction.net.
Yeah. But again,
on the level of actual like writing quality and all that, right? Written by someone who's doing a self-insert, I'm making this my universe bullshit.
Yeah.
And with the writing quality of someone who has no formal training or, you know, understanding of how to.
So essentially, they've been mining Tumblr for scripts again.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex Kurtzman.
Yeah, rest in peace, Robert Orkey, because apparently Orkey was the one who was keeping Kurtzman from being, you know, from going off the deep end like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next one we're going to talk about is Football Focus on the BBC. So why are we talking about this one? So this was, and again, I appreciate you guys aren't into football, but
no, we're just really traumatized because we got beaten by the fucking Americans. The World Cup. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So this was a BBC lunchtime sports show talking about football, and it ended after 52 years, apparently due to cost-cutting measures. But many were convinced it was more than that. Shifting audience habits and viewing figures. And I'll give you a clue as to another reason why many point the finger it failed. This was the very first presenter on the picture on the screen here when it started, and where is it? This was the presenter they ended up with. It goes to a discussion I've had with a few football supporters at work that many blokes just didn't like women football players being involved in men's sports coverage. And Alex Scott, who is the woman here, not a particularly brilliant footballer, but somehow managed to get a presenting gig with the BBC. and after this has
Totally not looking at the picture. Totally not a diversity hire.
well, she's not
Totally.
well, she's
Totally not.
yeah. I should point out she's also a lesbian.
Again, hang on. You said she said you said she's a female soccer player. That's redundant.
Yeah.
So I've got a very, very good friend of mine who is involved in the female women's soccer down here in Australia, and she's like, no, the stereotype is completely true. They are all lesbians, and the thing is, she is too. So just like, okay, well then you're fine.
So that's gone now, but Alex Scott is still employed with the BBC, and apparently they have plans to use her in their future, because obviously they won't dare sack a black lesbian.
The thing is, they won't get rid of it because she ticks all the diversity boxes. She's gay, she's a woman, and she's a right. She's not white. So she's like triple. She's like a triple word scored in diversity. So they'll keep it. They'll just use it for pretty much anything they can.
Yeah. And then another BBC theme story. Doctor Who. Sorry.
See, I blame I blame the BBC, but I also blame Disney for this, because apparently Disney had a lot of say over Doctor Who once they got the distribution rights.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who really pushed the diversity Doctor stuff.
Yeah.
But continue.
Yeah. So the Christmas special was cancelled this year. Apparently Russell T Davies, who was also gone, said he never wrote the script for it, or any script for it. And the show has been, quote unquote, put out to pasture.
Took them long enough.
Yeah. So apparently they're looking for other people to do the show and do it independently. Bollocks has been cancelled. I think I've just put out to pasture's bollocks. I don't believe that for one fucking minute. And it's a shame, because whilst I wasn't a big Doctor Who fan, I did watch it occasionally back in the earlier years, and I didn't watch it.
I used to watch it.
Back.
I used to watch it as a kid, and then when they brought it back, it was great up until
Capaldi was the last good thing.
Yeah, I mean,
but I would say even before Capaldi, and that's not like Capaldi's a great actor, but you could tell the stuff he was working with wasn't great. Again, you could see the diversity stuff creeping in with like Master's a woman now, right? And you're like, oh, we know what's coming.
Yeah. I stopped watching, I think, halfway into Capaldi's season, because by then I was like, I can see the writing is rapid fire tanking off the cliff. Capaldi is doing his best, and I give you props for that, sir, but you're being handed more and more slimy slop to try and make something out of. So I commend you for your efforts, but no, I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the first episode of when it was brought back, and it was oh Christ, what's his bloody name now? When it was Billy Piper as the assistant. Oh yes, Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
And the main villain turned out to be mannequins with guns in their wrists, and I just went, yeah, no, thank you, and I turned it off. So this next one, I don't know what your view's going to be on this one, but the planned Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot was cancelled, according to Sarah Michelle Gellar. She announced it earlier this year that the revival will be moving forward. The news was welcomed by a number of fans because it stopped them pissing on the series' legacy as they feared it would do. But it was also, there were warning signs because of the showrunner, who was apparently Chloe Zhao, was not seen as a good fit for the series. And it was also theorized that given the financial hardships Hollywood has gone through, projects like this were cancelled because they were being viewed as potential losses.
Well, again, anything like this, like anything people are nostalgic for, I'm just like, you don't want it remade in current year.
Yeah, you don't.
Because it's just going to end up being woke garbage. Which is why we're going to cover the attempted reboot of Stargate.
That's literally next.
Yep.
Also, I will say with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it's another of those things of, it was a thing of its time.
Yes, it was.
It fit the zeitgeist. It fit the general vibe of the 90s to the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
That does not exist anymore. That peppiness, that fun with the seriousness on top, and just the general like girl power without girl boss cannot exist now.
Yeah. But as Wombat pointed out, the next one on the list is, of course, the Stargate series, which was cancelled. It was kind of a weird one because the writer or the showrunner would apparently not budge on compromising lore elements in the show for a wider audience. Joseph
It's the magic term, wider audience.
Yeah, Joseph Mazzoli, another showrunner involved in the show, publicly pushed back on that claim, stating that they were mindful of creating a new show with a broad appeal. But this one pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah, again, you can see it was on a broad appeal versus, more, wide. Whenever you hear the term wider audience, just you hear it's a diversity show.
Yeah. But then again, it was pretty diverse to begin with because you had
but again, there's diverse and then there's current year diversity, which is girl power. It's all the shit you hate, right?
Girl power, lesbian. Everyone's a lesbian. Everyone's gay. Everyone's some sort of ethnicity. And so it's very much not white. And all the white guys have to be constantly pissed on because they're fucking morons. And
shame because I did enjoy SG1 when it was on. So, I mean,
I watched SG1 was one of those few shows that I sat down and we all watched. Like my entire family watched it because my dad was normally not much of a TV series watcher, and we all made the point of finishing dinner in time to sit down and watch episodes of SG1.
Yeah, so I was bummed out by it, but I did like seeing the fact that so many of the stars, like Michael Shanks in particular, came out and basically went after Amazon for it. So fair play to them for that.
But also, so the fact that the lead writer basically he would not compromise and would not bend just shows, and we know what the previous series is like. It had its moments, it had its stuff and whatnot that would have passed the sniff test for current wokeness, but that's what we class as was a toasting the waters way back when that passed. Now it's a case of you're taking that, you're bastardizing it, and it's no wonder he's basically cramming both feet into the ground and basically acting like a mule because you guys aren't just doing that. Test the waters, do it politely and well.
You are full on bombing into the waters. Yeah,
you are diving headfirst into those waters and going full degeneracy. Not polite understanding and not, keep it within good, polite society levels of handling things. You're just going full bore fucking degenerate like you always do, and it's absolutely fucking disgusting.
And again, there's also, I guarantee there was another element of we're going to shit on the existing fans because we don't like the chuds.
Yeah. They were basically trying to cock the leg to take the piss on them and simultaneously shitting on them and basically saying, yes, we have to basically take the piss of the chuds because how dare these people like the old stuff and how dare they not like our new stuff. Because what was the last series that utterly failed? That it wasn't Atlantis. That did dribble off, but it was something else they tried that just started and died as fast as it started because that sort of shit was creeping in.
All right, so to discuss some of the movies and TV series that were released this year that were any good or not, because we've got a real mixed bag here. First of all, we're going to start with the Netflix stuff. And the first one, because again, I should point out for anyone that's listening to the first time, we can't discuss every damn release because we'll be here forever. So these are ones that are narrowed down for obvious reasons. So the first one to talk about was The Rip, the Ben Affleck, Matt Damon team up, Netflix crime drama. This was fucking good. Budget of 100 million, but I got no obviously box office figures because it's a Netflix movie. It was the first film to have a deal where the production staff would receive a bonus if it performed well within the first 90 days of the service, which is apparently a first in these kinds of scenarios. Did you guys see this?
No, but again, I'm glad that they're modernizing the way that the pay structure works for streaming,
Mm.
right? Because again, there's been a lot of complaints from actors and crew and the rest of it that, yeah, in the modern era of streaming, studios have been screwing them over on royalties.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, streaming doesn't count, sort of thing. But no, again, I'm glad. Matt Damon seems to be a good, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck seem to be good. Like, again, these guys have been working in Hollywood for a while, and they seem to actually genuinely give a shit about the people they work with.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I'm glad that they this is working out well.
Yeah. And the next one to discuss, and this one, I believe this is a slightly Australian production, and that was War Machine. This was a budget of 80 million, and this is weird. It had a very limited theatrical release, and it took $57,194 at the box office, again due to limited release. But this was a fucking good movie as well. And me and my wife watched this, and of course Alan Richardson, it looks like he doesn't do shit as far as I'm concerned, and this one, again, it was a hell of a good movie. So I'm pleased that this one was made and has done well on the streaming services at least. But do you guys get to watch this?
No, again, it's on my watch list. I just I've been with work and everything else. I've been watching a whole heap of movies.
Plus, we've kind of been put off for a long time from Netflix, so we're not exactly trolling it every day to look for something that looks like it's worth watching.
No, that's fair enough. All right, and then this one's a new one for us to talk about, but it was relevant because it made a lot of headlines in various reasons. So we had the Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano fight.
I love that. I love the meme for that one. This fight could have been an email.
Yeah. So this was the first of its kind to be broadcast on Netflix, attracting 11.6 million viewers. While it did feature other fights, the headlining one, as you see on the screen there, was over in 17 seconds due to Rousey winning with her signature armbar move. I'll tell you what, I'd have been pissed off if I bought a ticket for this and been there live. I'd have been fucking fuming.
Not enough time to chug the beer, damn it.
Yeah. But it had its, well, I mean, watching Gina Carano get back in shape for it was admirable. So I give her fair play to that. And obviously, she also announced she got married.
Oh, dude! Again, if it had been the other way around, you just would have been going, "Yes, Gina, you could do that to me. Crush me with your thighs."
You absolutely know it. Right.
I can imagine you just getting crushed by Gina's thighs and the ref going, "Tap out." And you're like, "No, no."
I'm good, thanks. Yeah. Would it result in a broken arm? Most likely. Would I give a shit? Nope. Right. And the next one I know Wombat's going to love talking about. And that is Radioactive Emergency.
You bastard!
I'll
this
go
is getting back at me for Edge Runners, isn't it?
Yeah. And just for that memory, I say, go fuck yourself, all right? Right. So it was, I believe, Joe Dante that said, if you can get past subtitles in a foreign language, there's actually some really good stuff out there. And this was one of them. Now, for those of you who don't know the story, this is based on the incident that took place in, I can't pronounce this place's name. Help me out, you two.
Yeah, basically a town in Brazil, where some scrappers got a hold of an abandoned cancer treatment machine full of lovely glowy cesium-137.
Yeah.
Delicious.
And not knowing what it was, spread it around the town because at night it glowed blue. And then when they realized just what was happening and the scope of this, it's something else. It's 5 episodes, I believe, and it's probably some of the most chilling TV I've ever watched because if you know the story of this, it gets you from the very beginning where the scrappers find this piece of equipment and you just sit thinking, leave the fucking thing alone. But of course, the story happens. And
because they don't know any better.
Yeah, and the chilling part for me is in episode 3, which I know Wombat didn't get to because he's a pussy. And
no. The thing is, I know the story, and the thing is, The bit that you're referring to is she's like, "Look, Daddy, my sandwich
No,
sparkles."
that wasn't the bit I was going to talk about because that is not actually shown in the series. But there's a bit where these two scientists are checking around to make sure it hasn't made it into the water supply, and they go into this old woman's house for a breather, and both of them take off their masks. And then the woman scientist looks and she sees that this old lady has got some of this dust and has sprinkled it at the shrine, the base of her religious shrine. And a look of absolute horror on her face when she sees
It's like,
it.
"Oh, we fucked up." Blast back on.
Yeah. So,
I'll give it to this. Like, yeah, he may have done that, but he's sort of copped out on the whole. It's one thing that stuck me for the story of every, like, very detailed iterations of it was the father saying, "The last thing my daughter ever said to me was like, 'Look, Daddy, my sandwich is sparkly.'"
Mm-hmm.
Because she'd gotten into the bag
Yeah.
with a thing that was leaking the cesium and had basically put it all over the table, was playing with it like it was glitter and rubbed it all over her sandwich her mother had made her for lunch.
Yeah,
That little girl was dead within the week.
Yes. So, for anyone that can't get round subtitles, I invite you just to give it a try because the Netflix do an English dub for it, but it's terrible.
Oh yeah, I the first 30 seconds of the dub, and I'm like, nope.
No, don't do it. Right, and then to Amazon for their offerings. 3 ones to talk about here. One movie, that's of course The Wrecking Crew, the team up of Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. This was brilliant, and these two guys play off each other nicely. That, in fact, that's probably the best selling point of the movie. And the action is good. The story is actually pretty decent, but again, it's just the way these two play off each other that makes me recommend it because it's fun and it's the sort of thing I want to find on a streaming service. And again, it's one of those. Sorry, I'll just finish this.
Yeah.
Me and my wife watched and found we were like, "Holy shit, this is good."
Yeah, and this has been my argument: is what people want in media at the moment is fun, whimsy stuff.
Yep.
Right. Because there's so much of this is cringe politics shit. And everyone's like, "No, we don't want that. We just want fun, whimsy."
So, and to the series now, because there's 2 of them to talk about. First one is Clarkson's Farm. So, Jeremy, especially grumpy old men do farming, but it gained prominence because of the Labour budget, which basically punished farmers for having the audacity to own land, and it gained.
Yeah, those filthy kulaks need to be punished.
Yeah,
right.
And
him being so frank about the realities of what it is to be a farmer without any of the gloss that's usually put on by a lot of other shows, or things left out by the shows because they're a bit too nasty and a bit too harsh to show.
Yeah. Basically, this actually had more people watching it than the Rings of Power, which I thought was fucking hilarious. But it got in the news this week because Clarkson revealed in the last episode that he had an aggressive cancer diagnosis, which, while being caught early, looked like it could be a fight he'd lose. Sadly.
And this hits home for me because he's got exactly the same sort of cancer my dad got.
Yeah.
And diagnosed at about the same age.
Yeah.
It was early stage prostate cancer, but it was very aggressive prostate cancer.
Yeah.
And what peeves me off the most when it comes to men with prostate cancer, especially men of like advanced age, is that they apparently refuse to take the whole prostate, even though they're well past the time they've ever become a daddy again. And they've done the same for Clarkson, which worries me because he's recently finally opened up and talked about exactly like what kind of cancer it was, the levels at, and the fact, yes, he's had surgery, yes, he's had radiotherapy treatment, and he's having follow-up treatment still, but they only took 10%.
This is exactly what happened with my dad, and it was back within a year.
Yeah, it's just like, for fuck's sake, you've just said it's aggressive. He's 66 years old. He's done making with the babies. He's got his kids and his grandkids. Take the whole damn thing. It's not necessary to life, and it's not necessary to healthy function anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, for Christ's sake, if you have women with a similar level of aggressive breast cancer or aggressive uterine cancer, they take everything. to make sure. I'm
Mhm.
like, why can't you do that for men, especially men of advanced age? Just take it all, and that basically raises your chances that you've guaranteed you've got it all, and it's not going to suddenly rear up again in a couple of years.
Mm. Now, of course, as Clarkson has crossed swords with a few people over the years, there were those on Twitter celebrating this. The only thing I can say to that is, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
There's always those
Mhm.
foolish bastards that do that because
Yeah.
they get off on basically making fun of other people's suffering.
Yeah.
And then when they go through similar levels of suffering, and then but why weren't you showing me any empathy? Oh, fuck you!
Mhm.
Showing you all the care and empathy that
Again,
you have shown
you've
all
shown
others,
others.
which is
Yeah,
none.
exactly.
And
Um,
unlike you, we're not going to celebrate it. We're just going to not acknowledge you and let you sit and suffer in your own pants.
Mm-hmm. And then the last one to mention with Amazon is, of course, Spider Noir. I was not sure about this when I saw it because it's Nick Cage doing a series, and he previously said he'd never do them. But he changed his mind after watching Breaking Bad because his son got him into it. And I'll tell you what, he does a great job. He's very much a cross between, well, Nick Cage doing Nick Cage, I suppose, in some places, but it's also
Nick Cage doing doing Spider-Man cosplay, and
yeah. But it was fun. It even had the novel aspect of allowing you to either watch it in color or in black and white. Hint: watch it in black and white because it is brilliant. I've watched this and it was fun. I hope there's more of it because it certainly does end with the possibility of another series should they go forward with it. But I did love this story that Nick Cage told here, where he's talking about the initial reading to the studio and what Charlie Sheen's advice to him was when he was told not to mumble. So I'll play the video here for you.
How important the read-through is with the television powers that be. And Dan, one of the producers on the show, says, now listen, make sure you don't mumble when you go to that read-through. I was like, what's the big deal here? Why is this so intense? I've been to read-throughs a million times with movies. No, we haven't closed it yet with Amazon. Don't mumble. Called my old friend who did a lot of television, Mr. Charlie Sheen. And I said, Charlie, I said, listen, Nick, I'm really busy. I'm writing my book right now. What's the issue? I go, well, look, you've done a lot of TV. I've never done TV. Yeah, okay, what's up? What's up, dude? What's up? And I said, well, I was just told, well, we're doing the big read-through. Oh, yeah, well, no, Nick, that's the hardest part. Man, that's the hardest part, man. I go, well, so what's the problem? I said, well, this producer said to me, don't mumble. And he said, I'm sorry, who told you not to mumble? I said, I don't know, I think his name's Dan. I'm sorry, is his last name Sony? No, well then tell him to fuck off.
Nick Cage being Nick Cage.
Yeah, he seems like a genuinely good guy. Like I said, Nick Cage is, that's the thing. It seems to be these days in Hollywood, in acting stuff, you've either got, it's the classic fight between, autism and BPD. And Nick is, I'm sure, is team autism. It's the same with Anthony Hopkins and the rest of it. It's now, it's coming out. Yeah, there's a bunch of actors who are just, and they tend to, the team autism tends to be the really good ones.
Mm-hmm. All right. And one to mention from Disney Plus. And I call it Disney Plus because even though it's not, it might as well be. And that's The Mandalorian and Grogu. AKA a feature-length episode of the show.
AKA the sharp, the shit that Kathy, KK took in the desk drawer before she left.
Yeah. So this is a budget of 165 million. Last I checked, it took 315.1 at the box office. Seen by many as a very meh and safe story to tell. Featuring Sigourney Weaver, who read some of her lines like she just didn't give a toss and was just there for the paycheck.
Probably because she didn't.
Yeah. Nothing remarkable about this one other than the films that beat it, and we'll get to those later on. 3 in particular that spring to mind. but this was one that was announced. It was there was a big lead up to it. You had theater. Oh, fucking hell. Theatrical trailers being shown at Super Bowls or whatever it was, and in the end, next to nobody turned up to it.
Yeah, because it was too little, too late. And
it was literally 3 episodes from a TV series just stitched together to make a movie, which doesn't work.
And of course, it should be pointed out that yes, Pedro Pascal is named in it, but for a majority of the movie, it's a stuntman in the costume until it has to take his helmet off.
It's been that way for like majority of the series itself, I think. Anyway, so
yeah.
And just the irony of like reading one person's thing of they'd gone to go see it, they've walked in, realized there's no one else there, so they've just basically gotten themselves comfy, and then they've said it's like. They were getting towards the end of the ad stuff, and the trailers were starting to begin when the guy suddenly come bursting in with his young daughter, has like rushed in for a moment, paused, looked around, and he sort of noticed them and sort of looked over and made eye contact. And the guy said, "Oh, excuse me, this is a Star Wars movie, yes?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is a Star Wars movie." He's like, "Oh, okay, thank you," and then shuffled along, found their seats, and sat there. It's a case of, he's like him and that little went from like they both looked like they were excited bursting in until they've looked around and seen no one. It's like, by the time we're all three of us still walking out at the end, that little girl and him looked incredibly disappointed.
Yeah,
as they should be.
Yeah. All right. So to discuss the main theatrical releases of movies this year. We're going to start with 2 that came out right at the arse end of last year, and we didn't discuss them because, well, they hadn't really finished their runs at the time. And the first one is Avatar: Fire and Ash. Budget of 400 million, and it took 1.490 billion at the box office.
They're going to make another one.
So I knew nobody that saw this movie, and I knew no one that talked about it since its release. It's the cultural footprint of...
it's a cultural paw print, right? It's not a footprint, it's a paw print.
My wife and I, we saw
a very small mouse.
Yeah, we saw the first one in the cinema in 3D, and it was entertaining. I did enjoy it. But afterwards, I watched it one more time that I can recall. I didn't even bother seeing the second one because I heard 3.5 hours and went, no, fuck off. And apparently this one's a similar length. So, yeah, they said 3 hours and 12 minutes. I just wasn't interested.
No one is.
Anyone else?
Actually, hang on. This did have a bit of a cultural impact in terms of everyone losing their mind over the evil big blue dummy mummy.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I remember when this thing came out. Everyone just going, "Ooh, evil blue dummy mummy."
And the fact that what's his face ended up basically having her practically climbing him.
The only thing that I remember about the last 2 Avatar movies,
it was basically, it's the meme, like, because one guy made a meme sketch of it leading in, of whatever his name is, the military guy standing there with her next to him, like, the most racist man you know, and his girlfriend, and people kind of like, you were right.
Yeah. The only thing that I remember from these last 2 movies was James Cameron was leaving a meeting or a screening or whatever it was, and someone was filming it, as they always do nowadays. And there were a load of people waiting outside with merch for him to sign. And given the amount they were holding, you just knew it was going to end up on eBay within the hour. So he walked past all of them, got into the car, and had tinted windows, and all these people started booing him. So in response, he stuck his middle finger out the window at them, which I thought, yeah, good.
Yeah. James Cameron has fuck you money. He's like, yeah, well, what? Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only response you can give to the scammers anyway, because that's what they are.
Yes. So I give him respect for that. All right, and the next one, end of year one to talk about, is The Housemaid. So Sydney Sweeney had 2 bombs under her belt before this one came along, but it turns out this one was not.
Hang on, Justin. She's got 2 bombs under her bra too.
Oh, fuck's sake. I should have thought about my words before I said that one, shouldn't I?
Gonna be better than this.
Yeah. So on a budget of 35 million, and also with Paul Feig directing, he of Ghostbusters reboot fame, It took 400 million at the box office. The cast and crew really went for it with the promotion on this. They appeared with the director on Family Feud, and that episode became one of the most streamed in its history. And there was even a one-to-one interview between Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried, which became viral because Seyfried asked Sweeney to her face if she'd had any work done. To which Sweeney said, "No, I'm real." And of course, yes, for those wondering if Sweeney does, yes, she does get the girls out in the film. Another reason why I think it was successful. But that, of course, that would be just me being cynical. So, yeah, not one for me, but apparently a lot of the ladies did like it. I mean, Peter, was this one on your radar?
Nope.
Okay.
This is a bunny boiler movie, isn't it?
I know what I know of the plot, not quite, but
Okay.
yeah, well, that's a discussion for another time.
I don't watch those kind of movies anyway.
Okay, then. Right. Now to the first major release of 2026, and this one broke my fucking heart. And that, of course, is Return to Silent Hill. I'm a massive Silent Hill fan. I loved the games, especially 1 and 2. I love the movie of Silent Hill, not so much Return to Silent Hill. That was an absolute shit show. And I was waiting for this movie for a long ass time. And when I heard it was coming out in January, my hopes were dashed a little because January does tend to be a dumping ground for shit movies.
Red Letter Media.
Yeah.
Fuck you! It's January.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I held out hope regardless, and no, the film is fucking hell. It's disappointing. There were parts of it that were good, but as I spoke with Cecil from Good Bad Flicks about it, and as I said to him, it just felt like there was a lot of story that had been cut from this because 1 minute he's in this building, and then next thing you know, he's washed up on the shore of the river near the hotel he has to go to. And as he just said to me, he found out that the studio, having seen Christoph Gans's original cut, hated it and had around 50% of the movie reshot, which is why it ended up on a budget of 23 million, taking only 48 at the box office, 48 million. And this one really fucking it hurt to see this because
I told you about having hope in the current age, especially for video game stuff.
yeah, I know, but
Again, a cynic. I hate being right. I really do.
I know, and I didn't want to be wrong on this one, but here we are.
I know. Yeah. I said shit until proven otherwise is my default position. And again, hate being right.
Yeah. So the next 3 to discuss, I've put these in a column of their own. We'll go through each one by one. So you've got the new Scream movie.
Scary movie parodies.
Scary movie, beg your pardon. And then you've got Scream 7. And then you've got The Devil Wears Prada 2. So to go through each one, Scary Movie 6, budget of 30 million, and it took 173.2 to a mixed reception. Scream 7, budget of 45 million, it took 214 at the box office. And another one for the ladies, Devil Wears Prada 2, it took a budget of 100 million, it took 675.9 million.
This just means they're going to get more. This is the thing. As much as people go, they're shit, they're profitable.
Yes, they
right.
are.
That's the problem. This is it hurts me because again, the studios get financially rewarded for this shit, so they just keep making it because they are horribly profitable.
Yeah. I mean, to go through each one from a personal perspective, obviously, you guys, say what you want to say on this. Scary Movie. It was a very mixed reception. I only saw the first 3 of these, and they were okay. They weren't fantastic. Scream series, I only saw the first 2. And I have to say, I can't help but feel a little impressed it's still going. and Devil Wears Prada.
Very
2.
dedicated fan base. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
well, fine. If that's your thing, wonderful.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
Again, it's trashy horror movie. Okay, I'm not going to knock people for it.
yeah. And Devil Wears Prada 2. I mean, the first one was a big hit. I'll give it that. But this was definitely one for the ladies. I mean, Peter, was this another one on your radar or not?
Like, fuck, it was. Yeah, that pretentious shit.
I'm sorry. If she'd expressed interest in seeing that, I'd be like, okay, honey, who are you and what have you done with my wife?
Yeah.
And no, we need to go and see a doctor because you've clearly had a stroke.
No, I see the trailer for the first one. It's just like, I just want to slap all of you bitches.
All right, fair enough. So the next one to talk about was one of the unfortunate. Well, there were a couple of box office bombs, and this was one of them. The Bride. Now, on a budget of 90 million, which I'm impressed they got, it took 24. This was Maggie Gyllenhaal's debut as a writer/director, and the movie was a massive bomb.
This is a diversity tax write-off. It has to be. Like, I've seen so many interviews with her talking like this. I'm like, the fact that multiple people signed off on this and thought this was a good idea, I'm like, this has to be for tax purposes.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was just no.
This apparently was that bad that there were audience walkouts at some of the screenings, which I have to say I do find a bit amusing. But it was also interesting watching one of the interviews she did. I believe it was with the New York Times podcast, and she bemoaned the lack of opportunities for women in Hollywood, and then declared in an interview that she only really became a director after the first time Trump was elected.
Yes, sweetie, there's no women directors in Hollywood because they make massive bombs like this and they're a financial risk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, and the ones who actually do make the good stuff, you don't hear about it because they don't play the politics and they don't tick the boxes.
And unfortunately, it has been argued. I mean, I'll take you guys' opinions on this, that because of this movie bombing, it has set women directors in Hollywood back years because they're
this isn't new.
No,
this isn't new. No. It's just, again, there's a certain type of female director where, again, the problem is like they need to look at the script. Okay, is this feminist? Yeah, is this a feminist horseshit empowerment movie? No, then we're not greenlighting it. There's plenty of good female directors out there. It's just so many of them are set up to fail.
Yeah,
right. There's ones that have just handed horrible scripts, or in this case, they write the horrible scripts.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, now from a bomb to a humongous success at the box office and also a damn good movie. Project Hail Mary. So on a budget of 200 million, it took 682.3 million at the box office, and the movie was fucking brilliant. The writing and directing were excellent. So was Ryan Gosling, and the puppetry of the alien character Rocky was fantastic because it's not CGI. It is either a puppet or an animatronic. Fantastic.
People fall that thing. I think Disney was counting on the fact that Grogu cute. Well, no, apparently Rocky cuter.
Absolutely. And if you go on Amazon and
Rocky
type in,
actually, communicates and does more than sit there and just basically occasionally vomit and make goo goo noises and do nothing.
There's also Rocky soft toys available on Amazon, which I found hilarious. But the character is a delightful one, especially when he gets Earth sayings wrong, where he says to the main character at one point in his celebration, "Fist my bump."
You're like,
yeah. There's literally T-shirts you can buy that say "Fist my bump," and the ending. I won't go into detail for those who haven't seen it, but it's a very heartwarming and cute ending. If anyone that hasn't seen this, go see it, because my son had seen this and he was raving about it, and he forced me to sit down and watch it, and I weren't in the mood at the time, but it sucked me in straight away. And again, Rocky is the heart of the movie as well as.
But it's also a good heroic tale,
yes,
right? It's like, yes, Guy is, sent off to save the world, and he's not exactly enthused about saving the world.
Oh, it's the hero's journey, because he is the epitome of I'm the reluctant hero, where he's literally going, no, fuck this, I am actually refusing.
Yeah.
The point they have to literally sneak up and sedate him and just basically do the whole
Press gang him.
and stuff him in there.
I'll save the world, bro. No water.
Yeah. So
pilot the fucking robot, dude.
yeah, the Blu-ray isn't out for this yet, but I just hope it comes out with some good behind the scenes stuff. I
know the ending.
Okay, I want them to do Blu-ray commentary, but I want them to have Rocky commentating in character.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I read about the Rocky voice because it is actually the puppeteer doing the voice, because they just realized he was the best choice for it. And amusingly, some of the voice they choose for Rocky, he chooses for Rocky in the film, he cycles through Meryl Streep, and it's actually her providing the voice sample for that. And they also use the voice sample of the audiobook narrator, because the audiobook for Project Hail Mary is apparently fucking awesome as well.
But I have to give it with the endings. Like, I saw people having a moan about it, and like, that's a perfectly fine ending.
Yeah.
You don't have to basically, hero returns as a hero's welcome, It's just like, and also it's like what you set up with this guy. It's just like, it makes sense that he is happy with what he gets in the end. He is not driven to go home, because by this point in time, if he does go home, majority of people he knew and loved aren't there anymore, because it's been that long. So he's just like, I go home to a hero's welcome with no one I love waiting for me anymore, or I follow through with this and live my best life and just
my pet rock bros. Rock bros win.
And basically live my best life with these lot.
Yeah. All right, so on to the next one, which another video
also,
game.
Like, to add to that, it's like he very much did not want the hero worship, which is what he was going to have when he went back.
Yeah.
Whereas where he ends up is a case of, yes, I am the hero, but I'm also just another guy that's happy to teach and, be among this lot and just live.
All right, so on to the next one then. And this is another video game adaptation, but this one fared much better. And that was Super Mario Galaxy movie. Budget of 100 million. It took 1.6 billion at the box office.
Good.
From what I've seen and read,
get mogged, Disney.
Yeah. The story was good, but it had plenty of winks and nods to old stuff and plenty of nostalgia bait as well. Apparently, the best cameo or / character cameo in it was apparently Fox McCloud of Star Fox. You know what? I'd watch a Star Fox movie if it came out tomorrow.
I'm sure a lot of people would. Again, you could have you could really mog on Disney and have a Star Fox movie that is scratching that Star Wars itch that everyone misses.
Yeah.
Right? And you could do that without, and I'm sure you're going to make billions of dollars doing it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they don't fuck it up, that's a guaranteed win.
Yeah. And then another video game adaptation, which did okay, was, of course, Mortal Kombat 2. Budget of 80 million. It took 128.8 at the box office, which is not fantastic.
Delicious cheese.
But it was a marked improvement over the first movie. Admirable, and it was bold enough to kill characters. And slight spoiler.
They kind of had to, because Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and for the spoilers here, but Kano is brought back, and again he steals the show. Because
crikey, the Australian shit poster is returned.
Yeah, because if it's one thing I've learned about Australians over the years is that you fuckers shit post with a passion.
Shit post unto even at the end of the world, we must shit post.
Yeah. And then one which next, and I feel sorry for this one, Masters of the Universe. So on a budget of 200 million, it took 92.1 at the box office. And I do feel this was a shame, because from what I understand of this movie, it is good. And it really didn't deserve the fate that befell it.
No, because I think people saw the trailer, they saw the diversity shit, and even though the movie's actually making fun of that, as soon as they saw that in the trailer, they just went, nope, and didn't bother.
Yeah.
That's also another case of people are developing the cynicism we are, but not to our whole I'll wait and see, but more I'm not even going to give it a chance because I've been burned so many times of people doing the whole nostalgia, jingle jingle nostalgia,
Yeah,
you love
yeah.
this, don't you? And having it bastardized.
Cheers. Yeah, exactly. And then having to sit through a fucking, the diversity bait shit. Also, it doesn't help that, again, Kevin Smith, this is your fault.
Yeah, I point a finger at him as well.
Kevin Smith tainted it so badly. Everyone's just like, well, Kevin Smith did that. We did have a good series way back when that got cancelled because the studio just yoinked it because it wasn't instantaneously making money because they're also
because it wasn't about He-Man, it was about Girl Boss.
Yeah.
And like this wasn't like Tila, yes, she's doing like in the initial parts, she's not really girl bossing, but she's sort of stepping in and doing stuff for Adam until he gets the sword, figures out how to use it, and then once he steps up, she realizes like she steps back because he's like, yeah, I have strength, but once you have that, you outstrip me by a couple of million, so I'm just gonna I'm not even gonna.
And the thing is, that was that, and that happened in the original, OG series as well. As he was like, what the fuck? And then, she was, in this way, Tila was the mentor character, not the girl boss. And again, that's good. That's, again, it's part of the hero's journey, right?
And also, the people who have seen it said it could have shaved off about 20 minutes or even 30 minutes and just tightened it up some and would have run better. But it's just a popcorn movie.
Yes. And one part of that was apparently Jared Leto actually turned in a bloody good performance as Skeletor.
Yeah, because he actually basically went the OG Skeletor. I was just like, I am just campy cheese chewing the scenery every second.
So why are you doing the thing? Because I'm fucking evil.
Yeah.
He pretty much does that. It's like they have the whole point with him in this case of, Adam's been brought up in a like he remembers Eternia, but he's mostly been brought up in a world where it's a case of, oh, you're a guy, you must be browbeaten, you must use your words, you must not do violence, otherwise you're an evil man. And he just tried the words thing with Skeletor. Skeletor points out, he's like, I'm fucking evil. I love being fucking evil, and he's going, okay, we're done with words then.
Yeah.
And proceeds to steer him across
punching
the floor.
it is.
He basically goes, okay. You've proved my point that sometimes words aren't enough. Violence is the answer. Let's go.
All right. And then on to a biopic, which attracted a lot of attention. Michael. So, budget of 200 million. It took 937 million at the box office.
My Generation X bros, you're letting me down. You really are.
So, a lot of the Late Stars fans love this movie, and a lot of the journalists hated it, as you can see from this review score.
Good. I like hearing that journalists are in pain.
Yeah, part of this was down to the allegations against him from the accuser Geordie Chandler being cut from the movie thanks to a late discovered legal clause preventing this kid's mention. I mean, I get that. It's not their fault because where the movie ends, and apparently there could be another one, I don't know, but this resulted in playlists and music plays from his back catalogue going up upon release, and it also showed that the music had broad appeal because there was a comparison made between this and Deliver Me From Nowhere, which was Bruce Springsteen's autobiographical movie, and that was a box office bomb.
Springsteen was a boomer one. Michael Jackson was a Gen X one. And then the thing is, and I think a lot of people, I'm glad they dropped the accusation stuff because now we've got some hindsight on this. You've had the kids who were doing the accusing come out as adults going, no, it was actually all bullshit. He never did anything to me. That was my parents making me do that because they wanted money, right? The fact that the kids, all the kids that he were around him were defending him, going, no, he didn't do any of those things. He was just a poor kid, a poor guy who never had a child of his own because his dad was an abusive monster, right? And he was just like, oh, I get this is the childhood I never had, right?
And one of the few ones who's still rabbiting on about it, people have gone, Dude, you can't keep your story straight from every time you reiterate it, because now you're basically saying, oh, X happened with this thing Y and
Yeah.
whatnot. And they're like, dude, you're saying X happened in X year at Y place. Y place didn't exist for another 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And on a multitude of other points, it's a case of, and now you've changed this part, and now you've basically changed when that part happened. Now you're saying, oh, that bit didn't happen, but this happened. So, like, just stop, dude.
Yeah, because I think it was Dave Chappelle mentioned them in Sticks and Stones, because that Neverland documentary that came out that was hours long, and he said, you know, if you haven't seen this documentary, don't watch it, because I personally don't believe these motherfuckers.
No, and again, even the kids, I said, the kids who are, who were supposedly the victims have come out as adults and say, no, he didn't do it. Right now that we don't have our parents basically saying, say the thing or we don't love you. Yeah, he didn't do it. So when you've got the actual, supposed victims coming out saying, no, he absolutely did not do it, we're defending him to the hilt. Yeah, this was, again, you can either take the shallow conspiracy level that they were just trying to extort him for money, or you can take the deep conspiracy level, and I'm kind of inclined to lead towards that, is that the record companies were trying to bully him and threaten him because he owned the Beatles back catalogue. He had a whole heap of stuff that he owned of music catalogues and masters and the rest of it that they really wanted, and he would not sell them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was sitting on so many of those assets that they were absolutely salivating over, and this was a way of them trying to get those out from under him. They were essentially trying to bankrupt him so he'd sell them.
Because he was preserving it.
Yeah.
That was his whole thing of, yes, I've bought all this as soon as I can get it, so I can preserve it for future generations and make sure it stays purely as it is. It doesn't get chopped up and bastardized and then fed to the future generations. And they basically don't get the messages or the actual real music as it really was. That plus, Macaulay Culkin has come out multiple times saying, it's like, yeah, I had great times with him because unlike with everyone else, with him, I could be a kid of my age and have fun and do stuff and whatnot. And he helped protect me from the worst of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. But also, Springsteen's movie was mentioned in the discussion I saw, because again, it was a box office bomb. Because unlike Michael, Springsteen did get involved in politics and essentially told half his audience to do one, because even though he claimed to sing for the working man, a lot of the working men over in America are Republicans, which of course he is not.
No, he's I think he is such a boomer artifact.
All right, and on to the next one. Disclosure Day. At the time of this recording, because it is still in the cinemas on a budget of 115 million, it's taken 123.4 million at the cinemas so far. But the reception to this movie has been very, very tepid.
Putting it mildly.
So much of this is people who see movies out of habit, seeing Spielberg movie and just going, oh, I'll go and see that. Right?
Yeah.
It's terrible. It is a terrible movie.
I don't. I struggled to find the words for this one, because what I know of the story is just like, why would I go watch that?
Mm-hmm.
And also, people I've watched who have gone to see it, like one guy basically made the clear point of, Spielberg seemed to have forgotten the internet exists and that USB drives and other forms of like very small, very easy to maneuver about, like medias for moving information are very much a thing. And in the real world, that information would have been spread on the internet within 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been it would have been in the hands of the hacker known as 4chan really quickly. Yeah, mind you, it would have been funny. They could have just played the thing of, post it on 4chan and have the 4chan people, because this is something that happened in real life. You had in Australia, you had someone who whistle blew on something, posted it on 4chan, and the whole 4chan board just went, no, that's fake and gay, go away.
Yeah.
It was absolutely legit. So again, there's ways that you could have managed that, but no, Spielberg's very much a boomer. This was a boomer movie written by boomer for boomer. Anyone else just went, no, this is crap.
Mm-hmm. The majority of people who are seeing it that don't have the Spielberg glasses on are basically going, wow, this is boring. It's nonsensical.
Mm-hmm.
The script is terrible. and you cuck on the fucking ending.
Yeah.
It literally goes to, it's like, yes, we're going to disclose, and it is, cuts to black.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Stevie's been watching The Sopranos, clearly.
yeah. So we're going to finish on 3 movies to discuss. I grouped these together as I did with the Legacy sequels for reasons which become clear. So first off, we've got Iron Lung, which strangely is missing its Rotten Tomatoes picture there. I don't know why. Obsession and Backrooms. And I'll leave it on Obsession for now because of that fucking missing picture, which is just stupid. So Iron Lung, on a budget of 5 million, took 51.2 at the box office. Obsession, budget of $750,000, so far has taken 305.1 million at the box office.
And man, is the art director for that big mad because she can't do business.
And you can tell me about that in a minute. And finally, Backrooms, a budget of 10 million, has so far taken 272.7 million at the box office. So these are all independent horror movies. In the case of Iron Lung, self-financed. And all of them have outdone big movies this year, especially The Mandalorian. And all of these movies were made by YouTubers. And I fucking love seeing stuff like this.
The thing is, this proves this Hollywood is learning all the wrong lessons. I'll go into this in a sec. It's just like, so what people want are well-written, interesting stories. That is why these movies have gone absolutely gangbusters, right?
Yeah.
Because the stories are interesting, right? And so, unfortunately, Disney and Hollywood have gone, well, YouTubers are a thing. Let's mine Reddit. I'm like, oh, of all the places to go for inspiration, why would you go to Reddit? I need to find them. There's a meme out there about, about how ideas get recycled across the internet, and it's essentially a reference to Human Centipede. Reddit's about the 3rd or 4th one down the Human Centipede list when it comes to recycling ideas. So it's like, oh god, yeah. But no, again, Obsession and things like that. I'm like, no, again, well-written, interesting story premises.
Yep.
That's what people want. And that is what Hollywood is really seems incapable of doing nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice, male leads who aren't basically girl bossed to death by women who basically browbeat them all the way through.
Yeah.
They've got their own flaws and their own reasons for being terrible people without having a girl boss constantly spouting all over them and treating them like idiots.
I mean, I've yet to see Iron Lung and Obsession, but I did go to see Backrooms, and this was fucking good. It had a creepy atmosphere throughout, and of course, this is based on the popular YouTube series. And Kane Parsons, who's the creator, he made history by becoming the youngest filmmaker at the time to reach number 1 at the box office with the movie, previously beating Josh Trank and Chronicle.
What was it? Backroom started as it just started as a 4chan meme, right? It's just like, hey, what it started essentially. If you've ever seen the second Matrix film, where they reference the whole, hey, you're in a simulation and there are back doors and back,
yeah, I remember that bit.
There's essentially a space behind a space. Well, they just took that meme and ran with it, and it's just like, hey, imagine if you get stuck in the back rooms of the world. And it's just this liminal space with nothing, and other stuff can get trapped there, and it just sort of snowballed from there.
Yeah, they've basically taken the liminal spaces that used to be in the back rooms of malls. When they're empty, they're creepy and it's easy to get lost. And they've taken the idea of, well, there's doors that go into other places, taken liminal spaces. And that young guy basically, as a thing of learning to use Blender, just combined that plus plus learning how to do filters and steady, as if someone was carrying a camera but not jiggling it about, but carrying a camera like from the 90s, more steady and stable, and having a person going, oh, I'm basically in this mall, I found a door, I'm going to pass in this door and start wandering out of curiosity and realize every time I turn, it's the same.
Yeah.
There have been, and the thing is, there have been sad real life horror stories of this, of people who got lost. Like there's people who've got lost in those sort of backroom liminal areas in malls and died because they got lost and starved or dehydrated to death.
I never knew about
because
it.
they could. Oh no, there's been more than one.
Right.
The most distinct one I remember was an older guy. Basically, had gone to was there with family, and he's basically gone, "Oh, I'll head back in because there's a few things. Like you go to the car, I'll head back in. There's one more thing I want to get." But because of where they'd parked, he got himself turned around, went into a back door, thinking it was just another entrance because there were some entrances that were just long hallways that went into the mall itself, and he picked the wrong door. And this mall was massive, sprawling, and had a shit ton of underground hallways and that for storage and literally back rooms. And he wandered and wandered and wandered until he finally found a random chair, sat down, and basically
died of dehydration. He was there.
Died of dehydration because it had already been a stinking hot day. He hadn't been drinking much that day, and he was on medication. And he became disorientated while he was wandering because this place didn't have really any air movement and proper air conditioning down there because it was such an old place. And he's just wandered, turned corners, wandered, tried doors that were locked and wandered, finally to come across a chair someone had left down there at some point for having smoke breaks or something, unfolded it, sat down, and basically passed away because he became so severely dehydrated his heart failed.
Well, the other thing is, but the thing is he was down there for literal days.
Yeah,
right?
He was down there for days because it was an area that no one went to anymore because no one used those storage areas anymore because the number of stores in the mall was shrunk enough.
Yeah,
and there's no cameras.
I've worked in buildings like this, right? And it's actually not that hard to get lost because there's no, in a lot of the older ones there was no signage or anything. It's just the same concrete hallway over and over again, and maybe some HVAC equipment or maybe some building equipment. And the way that the security in a lot of these these buildings are, the doors are one way, and if you have a swipe card or something, if you end up in the wrong area, you can get stuck. So yeah, it's just riffing off that. But as I said, there's been more than one episode of people getting lost in the real world equivalent of the back rooms and dying because of it.
To sort of focus on Iron Lung for a minute, so obviously self-financed, written and directed by Markiplier, who also starred in it. He was also assisted with writing with it by the actual game creator, who did cameo in the film. Self-released the movie in North America with Warner Brothers India, announcing they had acquired distribution rights over there. It was eventually released on YouTube Movies, and the company agreed to make Markiplier the aggregator himself to keep control of the movie's distribution. It also set a world record for the amount of fake blood used, 190,000 liters.
Nice.
Yep. And Obsession, a Blumhouse movie, written, directed and edited by Curry Barker, who was one half of the comedy duo That's a Bad Idea.
I have to clarify with the Blumhouse thing. It's like they didn't produce it. They actually had the guys who made it sold it to them to basically get it into cinemas and distribution because they couldn't do it themselves.
Yeah.
So Blumhouse is only the ones who picked it up to get it distribution. They didn't actually produce it.
Okay. But the standout performance in the Obsession I've seen is the young lady who plays the victim in it all, and the scene where she's screaming no 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 over dinner at the main character is creepy in itself. But again, 3 budget movies that have outdone a majority of the Hollywood releases this year. I love seeing shit like this.
I do too. And again, well written. It doesn't have to be very low on SFX. It's a psychological horror.
Yeah.
Right. And again, it's a horror movie for nice guys. Why won't she love me? People have just sort of going, yeah, nice guy horror film. But the point is,
the guy proving himself he's not worthy of saving either, because he has his moment where it's a case of he literally calls up the thing in the box that basically say, "I'll call this number about your wish," and they're basically like, "Yeah, he's like, I need to cancel this wish," and the guy's like, "Yeah, only way to cancel it is to basically top yourself." Then it cancels out the demon you basically brought into this, and he's just like, "Oh, can I just
I
alter
don't
the?
wanna do
Can
that.
I alter the wish then?
No.
In
He
the
said he's
most
giving you the-
selfish
yeah.
way of the whole. Okay, then if I can't cancel it, can I just alter it then? I'm like,
Yeah, can I
Wow.
still, can I still have GF? Again, it's this nice guy.
can I
kid.
still have
Oh,
crazy GF who basically has sex with me despite the fact that her real self is still trapped in there screaming and is against all this?
Yeah.
Because I'm a selfish dick much, and
Yeah.
I kind of get mine in the end, thankfully, in a way.
Yeah. So.
They also do the Chekhov's gun.
Mm-hmm.
It's very early on, because he's such an irresponsible idiot. He has medication, like pain medication.
Yeah.
He doesn't put it away properly. He leaves it open, and his cat gets into it and eats some and passes away.
poor kitty.
And he's initially like, "Oh God, my cat!" And he's like, "Let's go stick the cat in the bag and just yeah." And that cycles around for what happens to him in the end. That doesn't check off gun thing.
So in the end, the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
Oh, in the end, the cat's out of the bag and into a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. All right, so on to the final debate, conversation, whatever you call it, for the stream, and future of Hollywood in the entertainment industry. It's not a great-looking one as far as I'm concerned. There isn't much to pull me into a lot of this stuff now, except for the more independent things. But it's been interesting to watch the behaviors of some of the actors and whoever else involved in Hollywood and how they have coped, because obviously the strikes did more harm than good, and a lot of jobs and series and movies were cancelled, and it's leading a lot of them to branch out to do things like come into our spaces, for example. There's been plenty of actors who are now hosting their own podcasts, such as John Bernthal, Michael Biehn, Katie Sackhoff, and of course Amy Poehler, who somehow won a Golden Globe for hers. Beating the likes of Joe Rogan and Bill Maher, which I thought,
again, entirely political.
Yeah, which I thought was fucking hilarious. And then you've got folks like Reese Witherspoon and Viola Davis, who have written books with popular authors such as Harlan Coben, as you've just seen here, and James Patterson, which I think is hilarious. And then you've got individuals like Trisha Helfer, Shannon Elizabeth, and Jamie Priestley, who have gone into OnlyFans.
About 20 years too late, girls.
Yeah. Shannon Elizabeth, I don't want to say to her credit, it's up to you, earned 1 million in her first week on the platform.
Again, Shannon Elizabeth, there's a lot of people just mentally overlaying what she looked like in American Pie.
Yeah. And this one made me chuckle. Jamie Presley claiming she was doing it because she was evolving with the times. And I just looked.
You cannot see the dismissive wanking motion I'm making right now.
And I feel sorry because Jamie Priestley has proven to be actually a really good actress.
Yeah.
Right, when you see movies like I, Tonya and the rest of it, no, she's got range. She's a really good actress. The fact that she's having to do the OnlyFans thing, I'm like, oh, really, sweetie? It's sort of an indictment on Hollywood that she's not getting cast in more things because again, she's very good.
But it's a case of I saw that, and when she said that, I thought, please, if you said you did it, you would do it because you needed money, I'd respect you more. But then you've got the whole thing of the A-list actors moving into TV because they can't get work in Hollywood, and it's pushing a lot of the smaller tier actors, if you want to call them that, out. One good example here is this actor here, Kirk Acevedo, who's had to sell his home because middle-class actors are getting squeezed out of Hollywood. I felt bad for this guy.
I do too, because it's the ones who shitted up the movie industry are now going to shit up the TV industry.
Yeah. And then, of course, the one about you alluded to this earlier, and apparently Hollywood is now mining Reddit for new ideas after successive backrooms as major franchise flops pile up.
Yep, and they're learning all the wrong lessons.
Yeah,
right.
So
not understanding the primary thing they're not understanding is that Iron Lung backrooms obsession did not come from Reddit. Iron Lung was a game, an independent game, primarily released on Steam. The Back Rooms, it evolved from initial, let's tell each other, let's wind up and basically make new scary stuff
Let's make
to scare each
creepypastas.
other with.
Yeah.
4chan.
Yeah, and the thing
And
is, I know
Obsession came from YouTube.
why they're mining Reddit, because Reddit has the correct politics. It has Reddit has become such a hug box, right? Anyone sane got banned from Reddit years ago, and it's now just one big, work circle jerk.
Yeah.
Work circle jerk of just recycled literal shit slop.
Yeah.
If anyone does anything actually interesting and actually creative, it immediately gets basically usurped and chewed up, and
People steal
like, popped out
they
of
steal
diarrhea.
original work for upvotes, and then the original creator gets banned.
not to mention it's also full of AI that's just basically slurping the same shit and just regurgitating it with just higgledy-piggledy bitch together.
Rube Ross. And with the old joke with the Simpsons one where Nelson and that are on the bus, and it's like Lisa's made a working digestion thing. He just takes the anus and plugs it in the mouth and just goes, "Look, I've solved world hunger." Well, that's what Hollywood's doing.
Yeah. But then on top of all of that, you got stories like this. I used to be a Hollywood writer. Now I'm lugging lumber from Home Depot. It's an upgrade.
Good on him.
Yeah.
To be frank, unless you were a top tier writer, working at Home Depot is likely paying better and paying more
Yeah.
and consistently.
But all of this makes me look at the industry and like, what the fuck is going on with it these days? Because it is literally
It's
a
the
shadow.
reality.
It's a shadow of its former self.
But this is the reality of Hollywood with the sheen taken off. This is
Yeah.
what it's always been. This is how it's like. This is not new. This has always been Hollywood. It's just it had that massive that thick layer of shiny sheen over it that that's all people saw, unless they actually were involved on any level below the high tier stuff.
Okay.
Then you
so the
realize
thing-
this is real Hollywood. This is how shit it is, and careers in its case of they work on a basis of you don't really have a steady paycheck in Hollywood unless you're one of
Hollywood's
top
the original
people.
gig economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hang
It's
on.
like, you
I have an opinion. I've actually worked in the industry.
Okay.
I used to work many, many years ago. I used to work in the film and TV production, admittedly in the VFX side of things, managing render farms and all that sort of stuff. I've seen how the sausage is made, right? And that's why I don't work in that industry anymore. And I advise anyone that I speak to not to work in that industry, right? So even on the very peripheral edges of the industry, it is a meat grinder, right? And they literally just, again, I've seen so many fresh-faced, like even the VFX one, they'll just go to the VFX schools, like, oh, well, we need VFX students. We need warm bodies to do basic shit. So they end up just doing the 1,000 monkeys at 1,000 typewriters solution. Again, I've literally had to sleep at the studio while they're doing rendering because they're crunch time, right? It should have been a sign that the guy I was filling in for got felled by a blood clot and it nearly killed him.
Yeah.
Right, the stress and everything else. I'm like, yeah, again, there's in Hollywood, there's the producers and the A-list actors, and then there's literally everyone else. Everyone else are just plebs, and so they will use you up and spit you out and have not even blink. So the fact that people are sort of openly saying, yeah, no, working in Hollywood is shit, pays like shit. I would rather be doing actual normal human work, is not surprising in the slightest.
Yeah, like normal human work where I actually get a steady paycheck that's consistent on a weekly basis and I actually have money at the end of the month versus sitting there twiddling my thumbs waiting for the next project to happen and hope I can scrape through until the next project hits and I get another paycheck again.
Yeah, it leaves me looking at this and I'm just not thrilled for anything that's coming out like I used to be. I mean, Street Fighter is coming out later on this year, and I'm going to watch that because it just looks batshit crazy. But the big one that's coming out in the cinema that I'm going to go see, can either of you guess what it is?
The new Hello Kitty Island Adventure? Adaptation?
No.
Then no.
So they're re-releasing Transformers the movie in the cinemas to celebrate its anniversary. I think
Oh, I did not know. As in the 86 one?
Yes.
Oh, dude. I'm going to see that then.
Yeah.
I need to relive that childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I never
I had
actually
no
got to-
idea. Like, no,
Yeah.
that's why I didn't know. If I'd known that was happening, I would have gone, oh, well, fuck, yeah, I know which one you're going
Yeah.
to see, because I'll be doing the same thing.
I never got to see it in the cinema when it first came out.
I did, and I was
my-
6.
My
I was
parents,
traumatized.
my parents bought it on VHS cassette for me to watch at home, and I still have it here, literally on my desk as an ornament. But I saw it and I thought, you know what? I'm more excited for that than anything else, because especially if they put it on a high resolution with Dolby Surround or whatever, that'd be fucking fantastic.
And they remastered the sound. But again, it's got wonderful 80s cheesy music. It's got Weird Al.
Hell yeah.
It's got the last performance of Orson Welles.
Yep.
Right, because I actually have seen. There is there's a remastered Blu-ray version where they clean up the audio a fair bit, but at the same time they actually de-affected Orson's voice, because at the time he recorded that, he was dying of congestive heart failure.
Yeah.
Poor guy. But he had that gurgly deep voice,
Mhm.
and they've actually taken out some of the synth off it, so he sounds more like he did. And de-affecting it actually makes him sound creepier.
Whereas me, it's just like, yeah, I saw it on beta tape because Mum was going to a women's country club meeting, and Dad basically said he was going to take me to the video store and I could pick out whatever I want, and completely forgot that Mum said, do not let her have that one of all the things that's available, because Mum had taken my brother to see it with a few friends. And she's really come home and was like, yeah, the two younger ones, they're not allowed to watch that for a while yet. And I was
Yeah.
5. Dad completely forgot, and I basically saw it because I remember, like, I love watching the series with my siblings, so I
Yeah.
immediately run up to it and nabbed it. First thing I put in, and Mum's come home to me sitting there, and she's seen it, she's like, I told you not to let us see that! Like, whoops.
Now, note the enthusiasm we've all got for this movie coming out in the cinema compared to any of the movies we've just talked about.
Because it's
Massive
good.
difference there. Yeah, a
Yeah.
massive difference. So,
Same things happen when they've re-released the original Indiana Jones movies.
yeah.
The cinemas couldn't keep up with the demand. And even though it was only going to be like, I think it was like a day or two that they were doing showings on cinemas and IMAX,
Yeah.
they were sold out instantly because it's good. It's actual real entertainment.
Yeah.
It's not
And there's-
preachy bullshit.
Well, the thing is, and again, these cinemas like IMAX and the rest of it, I'm sure are in the background are having huge fights with Disney and the rest of it, just going, can you please make your back catalog available for us to do buddy screenings? We will give you money. You know, with Disney, it just boggles the mind that Disney's not doing this. If Disney's, not making a huge amount of money, etc., and they just want to top up their bank balances, great. Open your goddamn vault. Let things like Goonies, things like all the classic Spielberg stuff. And the thing is, I am 100% sure this is a KK thing,
Yeah.
right? That KK is basically because she controls Lucasfilm, going, no, I'm not letting you do that because that reminds me that I'm shit, and this stuff was made, while I was just fetching coffee, right?
Yeah. And what a shame.
And also, with the Iron Lung movie, as case of cinemas were basically saying, we want that too, because Markiplier could only arrange for so many cinemas to be showing at the time. Hence why, relatively speaking, people's like, oh, why didn't they earn more money? It's like, because I only had a very tiny slot that I could get, and I only had a certain number of cinemas. And even once it opened up and I could actually, put it to a few more cinemas, still, it was, in the grand scheme of things, piss all. But look at all the money it made. And those cinemas are going, we want that kind of stuff because it actually gets bums in seats and sells tickets. And thus they're turning to Hollywood and like, that's what we want. That gets us bums in seats. Why the fuck are you feeding into this shit? And on that note as well, despite He-Man end up being an unfortunate bomb, IMAX actually bet the farm on it versus Mando and Grogu in the end. Because they still had 3 weeks left of Mando and Grogu, the movie, but they actually did the numbers and gone, this is making us absolutely nothing. The the bookings and like after the first day or two, we're getting nothing. So you know what? We're going to bet the farm on He-Man because that might actually make us something at least. So
You know
we're
what?
cancelling our
yeah.
showings for Mando and
Yeah.
Grogu and bringing that forward by 3 weeks.
Yeah, like they're basically done the maths, gone, sod it, we'll take the hit, right?
Yeah, we'll
Hey,
take
Disney,
the- we'll take
Disney were like,
the,
oh, there's a
penalty.
penalty. And they're like, well, we'll take the penalty, to be honest, because it's not going to do any worse than it is now.
And it's like, so yeah, that's how bad it is that IMAX are turning around going, we're going to toss a Star Wars movie in favor of a unknown movie that may not do well, but it may still actually get us something in returns. And badly enough, that we'll eat the penalty fees we're going to cop for basically cutting early, because we're not we're not making any money at all on this.
Mm.
And it's like, yes, it's unfortunate that the He-Man movie didn't work out.
Yeah, it is a
because
shame.
people were just so jaded by basically being fed nostalgia and being bait and switched and basically shat on
Yeah.
the stuff they love. But I'm predicting this is going to basically go gangbusters once it hits streaming and on DVD Blu-ray.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably where I'll end up seeing it if I don't catch it in the cinema within the next couple of weeks. But
Again,
I'll let
it's
you know.
people. I can see what they were trying to do as well, and it's just unfortunate that the way that they did the trailer, everyone went, "Oh, it's diversity shit," and
Yeah.
ignored it because it was clearly they were trying to go for the same vibe as the Barbie movie,
Yeah,
which worked really well.
of course, yeah. All right, so I'll finish off with this question then. Is there anything you two are looking forward to this year besides this Transformers re-release?
Nah. To be honest, nah.
I've stopped bothered with watching anything to do with upcoming movies until trailers pop.
Yeah,
Like for a good 20 years now, to be frank.
yeah. All right.
Because I'm like,
Especially last
again, I'm taking. This is the thing, and I hate having to do it, but I am taking the cynic position.
Yeah,
I'm going anything that's coming out like great. I'm just going to assume it's shit until proven otherwise, and then I'm happy to be wrong, and I get like a good movie experience. Like, oh, good, I'm wrong.
well, it saves money as well because we are living in trying times. I know that's a phrase that gets repeated over and over again, but I don't want to go to the cinema and pay for a movie which I think is going to be good, only for it to turn out to be shit, and it feels like I've wasted money.
Not to mention, especially at the moment, like going to the cinema is insanely expensive.
Oh fuck yeah!
With in dollary dues, Peter and I go to the cinema. We're probably looking at about $100 for the night once you factor in snacks and tickets and parking and everything else. So it's just like, yeah, you know what? No, if I'm going out, it's going to be a good movie. The only thing I'll be excited about for when they announce release date is Primitive War 2.
Yes.
Yeah, that's apparently, I think last year updated on that. Adam Spark, who pretty much did everything in the first one with his wife and other people. They have started getting things organized for it, and last I heard, they're working the basis of, like the first one, it'll be done when it's done, but they're hoping for 2028.
Yeah.
But hoping a bit sooner if they can, but considering that took them 7 years of the first one for getting a budget together and getting things rolling and finished, it's likely going to be 2028 if they manage to get the ball rolling fairly quickly.
Well, I mean, like I said, with cinemas, for me, it's very, very choosy as to what I go see now. But I'll finish on this story because you've reminded me of this when you talked about the expensive food. We used to have a shop that was across the road from my cinema where they had a good priced pick and mix for sweets. And I went there one time and I got 2 lots of pick and mix for me and the wife because I can't remember what film we were going to see. But the young lady serving me, she saw what I bought and she went, "Let me guess, for the cinema?" And I said, "Yeah, is it that obvious?" And she goes, "Oh, we get people come in here and get sweets for the cinema all the time." And the young woman beside her, she'd finished serving someone and she goes to her friend, "Yeah, I know someone that works in the cinema. They have exactly the same sweets that we do, but they charge 3 times as much for them."
Because the thing is, now I understand the economics behind it. Like, that's how the cinemas make money. Because again, they don't make it on ticket sales in the first few weeks of a movie release because that all goes to the distributor. Right? They get a bugger all cut. That's why they had high price snacks, because it was the only way to actually make back the money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Even for us,
you know,
if we go to the local cinema here, which we're signed up with, so we get a little bit of a discount on tickets, it's still $18 a ticket.
Yeah.
And if we go to, like, when we're still living in Melbourne, if we went to one of the regular cinemas, like franchise cinemas there, it was close to $25 for a new release
Yeah.
for a ticket.
All right. Well, unless you've got any other final thoughts to add, we'll leave that one there.
No, I'm now going to go and look up when the Transformers screening is happening.
All right. So thanks for everyone who tuned in today for our mid-year talk of movies and TV. We'll be back in December to finish off the discussion with hopefully some better movie releases, but I hold out no hope. So as always,
I will be happy to be pleasantly surprised by some independent sleeper hits. But it's like for me, Hollywood and AAA gaming are the same thing at the moment. I'm like, anything that comes out of them is just going to be crap until proven otherwise.
Yeah. So thanks very much as always to Peter and Wombat for joining me, and also to anyone that hung around and listened to us rant for a couple of hours. It's been fun. We'll see you at the end of the year. So